Samuel Morse's The Telegraph, The Future of Communication. The background. Communication is considered a very important aspect of the human race, for it allows us to communicate with each other. Now, talking face to face was very easy because we can hear each other clearly. However, on the other hand, people found it difficult to communicate from far away, so they came up with a variety of ideas to get around that. They came up with ideas like visual communication, like smoke signals, flag signals, flares, and fireworks. These indeed were great proposals, considering how electricity had not been discovered then. However, preparation for these signals either took too much time or practice. For example, making smoke can be time-consuming, and learning each flag signal can also take up time. Fortunately, an inventor named Samuel Morse came to the rescue with his idea of inventing the first device to ever send messages across vast distances, called the telegraph. This invention became world-renowned because of its ability to transfer messages through wires without even having to stand up, but it began to dissolve during the start of the 20th century because it started becoming out of date. In addition to this, the telephone replaced its spot as the most used communication device because it allowed people to communicate by listening from a speaker and talking through a mic, instead of using Morse code. Furthermore, the telephone evolved through time where people made upgrades to the device like adding a new mic, installing keypads and speakers. Unfortunately, the telegraph in its current state has long been discontinued and is now lost in history. A lot of people still own the original telegraph, but most are displayed in museums. Economic impacts. The telegraph has made a positive impacts around the world during its prime because it allowed people to communicate from far distances. In the economy, messages were expensive, which had people pay almost $7.40, which is $210 in today's money, for only 10 words in each message. This greatly supported the economy and its company because their sales made them so much money to thrive. Also, working the telegraphic lines required people, so you can also say that the telegraph had created jobs, which both supported people and the economy. The social impacts. In society, it allowed people to purchase their own telegraph, which totally benefited their ability to communicate with their families and friends who also owned telegraphs. Like what was stated before, the telegraph company created jobs for people, and some people who delivered letters by mail soon moved to telegraphic jobs because they did not need to travel by foot. During wars, soldiers would also send messages informing their officers if they needed reinforcements or not, which saved their lives. It was also used to send certain instructions and coordinates to help win battles, just like the 16th U.S. President, Abraham Lincoln, who transmitted messages to his generals, giving them commands through the telegraph. Environmental impacts. The telegraph had a major impact on the environment because there was massive deforestation of trees and destruction of habitats in order to make way for incoming telegraph lines. Animals were moved, though, to other parts of the country instead of being killed. In conclusion, the telegraph had mostly positive effects on the world because of its convenience of sending messages without even having to move around. The telegraph created jobs for people in need and expanded job opportunities. This is why the telegraph was an important invention that shaped the world's communication. Thank you for listening to my telegraph presentation.